would say that we've saved the best for last, and at least one of my baseball experts would definitely agree.
To me, Wrigley Field is the greatest place on earth. It is the finest building that man has ever conceived on this planet. I think it is perfect in the way that it sits in its neighborhood. The interior of the park is gorgeous. The sense of history is fabulous. You know, Wrigley Field was actually constructed on the site of a seminary. And that's very fitting to me because attending a game in Wrigley Field is very much like a religious experience.
Actually, it's hard to believe that a ballpark that opened in 1914 could still be considered the perfect ballpark in the 21st century. But there are lots of folks that feel that the friendly confines of Wrigley Field set the bar when it comes to enjoying the perfect baseball experience.
You're always hearing terms like old school or back then. You come into here, it's like you're opening up the history books, how baseball was supposed to be. The fans are on top of the action. There's things here that you don't see at other ballparks. This is the only stadium in the world of professional sports that has no advertising. There's no jumbotron. There's no ads revolving behind home plate. You come in here and you see baseball, in my opinion, the most purest game there is left. And you come in here and you see pure baseball.
Wrigley Field, above all other parks, I think is one that's really taken over its neighborhood. The neighborhood Wrigleyville is even named after the ballpark.
You're standing outside Wrigley. You feel like you're at a street carnival with all the action going on, all the taverns around and all the little shops and people going every which way. You're in this incredible urban setting. You see this spectacular red sign, "Welcome to Wrigley Field." You gotta get goosebumps. You walk in through the concourse, you walk out, you take a look, and there is the green garden in the city. And it is, to me, that's the place I want to be. Saturday afternoon at Wrigley. I want to be there.
Going to a game at Wrigley is a one-of-a-kind event, but as I've told you before, there doesn't have to be a game going on to enjoy the Wrigley experience.
There's a lot of differences between just coming here to see a game and getting a tour of Wrigley Field. I mean, look where we are right now. We're in the Cubs clubhouse. People would die to be in here right now. And the fact that when they come on these tours, they go to places that they would die to do. So when people get down and into these situations and get to see the dugout, the clubhouse, the press box where the seventh inning stretch is sung by a celebrity every game, they go, wow, this is it, this is where it is. And that's what you get when you come out to the tours. All the behind the scenes, even like the two jails that are located in Wrigley Field in case we have rowdy fans, which doesn't happen very often. The tours are extremely popular. I mean, they're sold out from the minute that they go on sale all the way through the season. You're talking about every single weekend the Cubs are on the road, and we do countless tours for VIPs, sponsors, whatever it may be, on special circumstances all year round. It doesn't matter if there's snow 3 feet off the ground. People still want to be here. They don't care. This is Wrigley Field.
There are many icons at Wrigley: the hand-operated scoreboard, the bleachers, the intertwining of the neighborhood into the park, and even the absence of advertising. But most agree that there is one icon that is quintessential Wrigley Field.
The Ivy. Hands down, the Ivy. Everybody, when they come out and they want to see Wrigley Field, the first thing that they want to see is the Ivy. It's the signature of Wrigley Field. They come out, you see that green on there. It's been there for many, many years, and it just doesn't look the same when you're watching on TV. If you're in Los Angeles, you're in New York, you see the Ivy, you say, wow, that looks nice. But when you walk in here, you get that great home feel, and when you see the Ivy, that puts them right into our hands. They love it.
Instead of having a padded wall like most other ballparks, it has a brick wall with a bunch of ivy that grows during the season. And that's another thing, you know, sort of like the Green Monster in Fenway, that makes these older ballparks more unique and really special, and definitely one reason that we enjoyed going there.
Until 1988, Wrigley Field had another distinction that separated it from the rest of the teams in the majors. All of the Cubs' home games had to be scheduled during the day because they had no lights.
Although, interestingly, Mr. Wrigley had purchased lights to install at Wrigley Field in 1941. They were there at the park waiting to be installed, but instead they donated those lights to the World War II war effort that the United States was involved in at the time.
The lights went in August of 1988. There was a lot of, consternation about that from a lot of the local area, and I think even some of the purists that it was going to change or damage Wrigley Field. I think now most people would tell you it's just an added quality to the Wrigley Field experience.
Now, one of the indisputable truths about Wrigley Field and the Chicago Cubs is the fierce loyalty of the fans. They seem to stick with their club through thick and thin. And considering the team hasn't won a World Series since 1908, that's a lot of thin.
The Cubs fans are very loyal, whether the Cubs do good or bad. They're always here. So we fill that stadium, and baseball games here are pretty crazy, and it looks busy in here right now, but during games it's a lot more than that. So.
Really the best part in my mind about Wrigley Field is the whole bleacher area, where you really have almost like a 12,000 person beer garden where people are out there enjoying themselves and really part of the spirit of the game, and that's a really nice part.
You've got to have the experience of sitting with the bleacher bums in Wrigley, if they'll let you. It's not a dangerous place, it's just a noisy place to sit with the bleacher bums.
These people have been coming to games for years and years and years, but you also have, whether it be the young professionals or the kids in high school, whatever, that come out to get the bleacher experience. And there's a reason why they have their own gate into the ballpark and not coming in where everybody else is because when you're out there, you better be aware if you're a visiting outfielder because you are going to get heckled.
They're the folks who inaugurated the tradition of throwing the ball back. When a home run is hit into the bleachers by the opposite team, it gets thrown back onto the field as a measure of disgust.
Now, if you can't get into Wrigley Field for a game, you might be one of the lucky ones who can watch the game from one of the buildings around the park. One such place is a family-run bar called Murphy's Bleachers across the street from the park.
We've been here for 25 years, and it's a great place to come and watch the Cubs game, and even a better place year-round.
It's a great place to come, to hang out, to have fun. The people who work here are incredible. Good crowd, laid back, historic, being right across from the field, and warm weather, cold weather, a perfect place to go.
So the bar is more than just the one room. It kind of mixes around through the adjacent buildings, and we have a rooftop that's 3 doors over that we run out on a private party basis on game days that you can see into the stadium.
If you're a student of baseball, you've probably heard the story of the origin of the 7th inning stretch. It says that President Howard Taft was attending a ball game and that midway through the 7th inning, he stood up. Well, the fans in attendance thought he was leaving, and so they stood up in respect. When he sat back down, so did the fans, and the 7th inning stretch was born. A true story or not, well, who knows? But one thing we do know is how popular the 7th inning stretch is at Wrigley Field. Longtime Cub announcer Harry Carey led the fans in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" during the 7th inning stretch of each home game. Well, Harry passed away in 1998, but the tradition carries on.
So the Cubs decided to have a guest conductor, a person from different fields of entertainment, sports, and it's really worked out great. The fans get a kick out of it. We've had this season, we've had Shania Twain, Russell Crowe, Frank Sinatra Jr., and then we've had Stan Musial, Vince Scully has done it, Tommy Lasorda, Ernie Howell. So it's really from A to Z as far as the entertainment that we have for Take Me Out to the Ballgame, and they all have a lot of fun at it, and the people enjoy it.
And fans, when they come to the ballpark, they ask 2 things. Who's pitching today? Who's singing the 7th inning stretch? And it's part of the reason that people come. It really, really is.
You know, it's very hard to quantify in one sentence what makes Wrigley Field so special, but I think you definitely, when you talk to fans, and when I describe to people what makes it so special, it is the unique characteristics that it has. It's the brick. It's the ivy walls. It's the 7th inning stretch. It's the bleacher fanatics. It's the fact that there's no electronic scoreboard of any kind. It's the fact that you're not hearing who let the dogs out every other inning between innings. It's the fact that there's no plastic cup holders everywhere.
fans from anywhere should flock to Chicago to take in a game at Wrigley Field or to take a tour of it, because it is just the perfect ballpark.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our tour of 5 of the National League's great ballparks. Now, if we left out your favorite park, we apologize. But the thing to remember about today's show is that you and your family can enjoy a great baseball park tour on your next vacation. Now, most ballparks offer the tours year-round, but you should always call ahead to be sure. Well, this is Pat Sajak, and who knows, maybe next time I'll see you at the ballpark.